All right, NBA All-Star Weekend. See, now you got me thinking about coming to America.
You're welcome.
Might have to find some time for that a little bit later on. So, in an unprecedented NBA All-Star Weekend, we had all of the major events surrounding the weekend in one day, which was Sunday, where we had the skills competition first, followed by the three-point contest, then the first half of the All-Star game with the dunk contest at halftime, followed by the finish, the second half of the NBA All-Star game to conclude the weekend, more like NBA All-Star weekday.
Yeah.
Weekend day.
Weekend day.
The weekend. Yeah. So, Jay, let's start with the three-point competition. With the likes of Steph Curry, Mike Conley, the two stars from Boston, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, etc. we're going to go through each one of these events, and I'm curious as to what your letter grade was for each event. It was a very interesting day in that regard in the NBA. So starting with the three-point competition, what was your letter grade overall about the competition?
For three-point competition, I would give that a A. Actually, I'll give it an A+. I like the contestants, which I was really honestly surprised about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum being in there, and they did not disappoint. Right, it was a very intriguing contest overall with everybody in it. And of course, the chef out there doing what he does, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But the entire setup of itself was really good. One thing I love is that they went ahead and modernized the contest and added a component that's really relevant today, which is the deep three. Having those two green balls that were basically at Steph Curry, Dame Lillard range for people to show off their skill set, to me was a beautiful touch on how today's game is played. All of these players shoot threes from there at least once in a while, and it was good to see that they looked like they were more comfortable with being able to grab the ball from that distance and just go at it. So that was probably my favorite part, that they add that component. But overall with it, I would definitely give it I'll give it an A+. I thought it was the best part of the weekend.
Okay. I'm going to give it a B+. Starting out, I won't say this was a problem, but starting out, to me, I already thought to myself that the competition could have been better if you had sort of the players who are regarded as the better or the best three-point shooters in the game.
Right.
So you have no Buddy Hield, who I believe won it last year.
Yep.
You have no Joe Harris, who I think won it 2 years ago.
There you go.
You have no Klay Thompson due to injury, and you have no Damian Lillard, who we have known to be a long-distance shooter. He's turned himself into that over the last season or so. So you start out without them. Now, you obviously do have some good names. The two stars from Boston, like I mentioned, Mike Conley. I'm trying to think of who else was in the competition who must not have gone too far. Donovan Mitchell was in.
He had two guys from Utah, two guys from Boston.
Right. So to me, they started out at a bit of a disadvantage, but you have the one superstar in there that you have to have in order to carry the load, and that is Steph Curry.
Yep.
I think that what saved this competition was it had a fantastic finish. Mike Conley, who I made fun of during the week or was flabbergasted as to why he was the replacement for Devin Booker instead of someone else.
Who was the replacement for?
Yeah, right. I mean, this is kind of like a bit of a lifetime achievement award for Mike Conley because he's never been to an All-Star game.
Ever. Which is wild to me. Yeah. But at the same time, you understand why he was in a conference of just star guards.
Right.
You can't really do much about that.
Right. So you always dream of a three-point competition, Jay, coming down to one final shot.
Yep.
And the closer we were getting to that, and that's the way it was going to look, the more exciting, the more Steph started to carry this competition. It's kind of like, as long as you have a great finish, like a movie, as long as you have a great finish, even if the beginning and the middle was mediocre, if you have a great finish, people are going to like it.
Yep.
And I think people will really enjoy this part of the competition to come down to this final shot, knowing that Steph Curry, being Steph Curry, was going to line it up and knock it down.
Yep.
And he did. So that great finish for me elevated it to a B+ from what was a B. I would have liked to have seen some better shooters in this, but to me, this was the highlight of the weekend, and I really enjoyed this three-point competition by the end of it.
Man, so if that's your high rating, it's your rating for them, I don't even want to know what the rest of it is.
I got nothing but questions from here on out.
Oh, I can totally see that. Well, yeah. I'll say I did love the Curry ending, and I kind of felt like he did that on purpose. It felt like he wanted to add the suspense to it.
If anybody's good enough to do that.
Yes, he is great enough to miss shots purposely in order to add suspense to the ending and then knock down the final shot to win the competition.
You know what? If that's what he did, he should tell people, you know why? because that'll add to the legend of Steph Curry in this three-point competition. Just like people talk about Larry Bird walking into the locker room saying which one of you B words is coming in second place. So he needs to tell people if that's what he did.
Hey, even mentioning that, our barber shot us a text in the group text, asked a question. The Mount Rushmores of three-point shooters. He had Larry Bird, Craig Hodges. We added Reggie Miller, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Ray Allen, and asked the question, who would win the three-point competition with them? Who you got? I know it's tough. I mean, it's not something that you can just easily come out. We have to make that a segment.
And let's table that.
We'll table that because I already got my choice. But
okay.
We'll table that. We'll table that.